Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Adventure Comics 156, The Perils of Flying, a story I am incredibly agitated by. It's so frustrating because it chooses to focus on other things, less interesting things. I know I say less interesting way too often, but less interesting things than the original tension of the story. You see, there is this rich man, John Martell, who owns his own little airport or runway where he has a collection of famous flying vehicles, including the Wright brothers plane. That belongs in the National Gallery, not some sort of plaything or display object for a rich guy. But sadly, this guy is not the villain of the story. He should be. He has things in his own private collection that belong to us. No, instead, after Clark and some kids visit this place, a helicopter lands full of criminals who commit crimes using said helicopter, and they want to use his runway. If he doesn't allow them to use the runway, they have planted bombs around and will destroy his collection. That is the tension of the story, is built from these irreplaceable flying machines. This museum will be utterly destroyed if he doesn't go along with things. So you would think that, like, at the climax, a natural assumption would be that Superboy would stop these bombs. I feel like the story is constantly telling me, like, why are you so worried about these bombs? Because they were the whole point. I know I've gone way too ahead of things. So we get Superboy stopping these crimes and eventually figuring out what's going on, noticing him doing some form of investigation by recognizing the same kind of dirt clay from the runway that is on the helicopter. Hey, it's some sort of investigation and involves Superboy at least thinking this things through instead of just stumbling upon the secret hideout like he does with Humpty Dumpty every other month now. But here's the thing. Once Superboy shows up at the end, they just try to run for it. Well, balloon away with it. The whole thing with the bombs, they never try to set them off. And Superboy doesn't do anything with them. The story completely forgets about the bombs. It's interesting because I was rereading this end to make sure I didn't screw up in some way. Right before escaping, they threaten to blow everything up again, but nothing comes from it. As soon as they know Superboy is onto them, they try to get away. Superboy just easily stops them. I guess they shoot him for a bit, but we know that doesn't work against him. They never set off these damn bombs. Having Superboy actually go after these bombs and trying to stop them before they go off, I have to imagine there would have been many of them, is an impressive feat onto itself. That's a great climax. Instead, it doesn't care. Instead, the climax is just catching a bunch of crooks who can't do anything to Superboy. You had such great tension, and even when he's fighting them off throughout the story, like, say, when they are going to cause a train to crash, we see the explosion, that's a cool panel, and then pretty much the next panel, he's just holding on to a stopped train. The Superman group is constantly not very interested in depicting him doing things, depicting him in any sort of grand way. He just immediately stops something in a very static drawing. You can build up with a few more panels the sort of desperation of a train going off a broken rail into a crevasse. Like, that really builds the suspense. There is no suspense building. Everything is solved way too quickly. Okay, that is it from Adventure Comics 156, The Perils of Flying. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video is up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story, either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And what happened to these bombs? I think I'm supposed to assume they weren't real, but that is never made clear. They were such a big deal. Okay, have a great day.